We've all been there, scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, we see an ad that pops up. What do? We have an impulse purchase and we end up regretting it. And then we have what we call buyer's remorse. And we all bought something that we regret, and you know, we could probably live with it if it's a smaller purchase. But when you buy a house and have buyer's remorse, now that's a different story. A study by HomeLight conducted about a year ago found that over 70% of home buyers that purchased a home between 2020 and 2022 had at least one regret. So today we'll review the top 5 regrets homebuyers felt over the past couple of years. And we'll also give you some great ideas on how you can avoid those regrets when you go to purchase your home. And make sure you stay tuned till the end because we'll review the #1 biggest regret that buyers have felt when purchasing a home recently. Can you guess what it is? Stay tuned to find out. Hi guys, my name is Josh Finigan with the Finigan Group here at eXp Realty, and we're consistently shooting videos on the greater Charlotte area, some educational videos like this one here, some market update videos as well. So you want to make sure that you stay in the know on everything going on here in Charlotte and everything real estate. Make sure you click that like button and also subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's go ahead and jump on in and start with number 5. I wish the layout of my home was more conducive to my lifestyle. God forbid you buy a home, move in, and a few months later you finally realize that the layout, floor plan, or size of the home does not fit your needs. So obviously when you're looking for a home, you're going through the home quickly, and a lot of times you may miss a few things or not fully think about how you're going to utilize the layout. So how can you really avoid this from being an issue after you purchase your home? So what I usually recommend to my clients before you even start looking at homes is get a white sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side put needs, on the other side put wants. Now you and your spouse should both do this. And when you actually go and start listing your needs and wants, you want to separate from your spouse, go off and kind of do this on your own. And then once you're finished kind of creating your needs list versus wants list, get back together and compare your lists. This will help you identify what's a need versus what's a want. Now a big question is, what is the difference between a need and a want? So needs are your absolute must-haves, things you need in a home or you don't even want to look at the property. Let's say you have a couple of kids and you need a 4-bedroom just to make sure every kid has their own room. You guys have your primary bedroom and you also have a guest room as well. So one of the needs would be 4 bedrooms, right? You wouldn't even look at a 3-bedroom home, so you don't even have to worry about having those sent over to you. Or if you need a primary bedroom on the main level due to health concerns, you're not able to go upstairs, then that's gonna be a need. You have to have that in a home or it's not even worth looking at. Now the needs list should be pretty short because they are absolutely must-haves. Your want list could be much longer. A lot of times I'll have clients that say, Josh, I really would like to have a primary bedroom on the main level, or I'd like to have a pool. But you know, after we start looking at homes, we're not able to find any homes they like in their price range that have that pool or have that primary on the main level. Now, if that is one of the things on their want category, then we know that we can start looking at some other properties because it's not an absolute necessity. So doing your research up front, your homework to really identify what is a need versus what is a want will help you identify what you guys are looking for in a home. And this will also make sure that the home you end up purchasing really works for you for the next 7 to 10 years, right? And you want to make sure that you share your needs versus wants list with your realtor so they know what to look for in a home for you. Regret number 4 is I underestimated the total cost of owning a home. Now, there's a lot more that goes into owning a home over your mortgage payment. You got taxes, insurance, maintenance. There's a lot of other fees you really want to make sure you take into account so you're budgeting properly and you don't become house poor. A few things to note, you're definitely gonna have to pay property taxes. Uncle Sam wants their portion. There's no way around it. Now, property tax is handled differently in North Carolina and South Carolina. For instance, in Mecklenburg County, where we help a lot of buyers and sellers, right now the tax rate is 61.69 cents for every $100 your home is valued at. So in North Carolina, you have one property tax rate, whether you are a primary owner or owning it as a secondary residence. In South Carolina, that's not the case. You have a primary residence tax rate and you also have an investment tax rate. The investment tax rate can be upwards of 3 times as much as if you were using it as a primary residence. And with insurance, the #1 mistake I see homebuyers make is they don't start the process of actually lining up homeowners insurance until super late in the process. My recommendation is right when you go under contract, start reaching out to some professional insurance representatives so you can start understanding what coverage works best for you and you can start getting some different quotes. This will also give you some time to make sure there's been no historical claims or losses that were never fixed by the previous owners. Regret number 3, I feel like I decided which home to purchase too quickly. And remember guys, this study was done in February 2022, which was the peak euphoria, the craziness going on the market where multiple offers were on most of every single home. All these buyers were trying to rush in to buy a home before the rates got too high. So many of the home buyers were pressured into making super quick decisions because there are so many offers on the table. Now cut to today. How can you prepare to make sure that you're not in a situation where you have to make a quick decision? Still today, if you are looking for a nice home, definitely the ones that have those modern updates, right? The whites and the grays mimic what we see on HGTV. If it's in a good area, a good school system, anywhere between $400,000 all the way up to really $1 million, then you're still going to have a lot of competition on those homes, and you're probably still gonna find yourself in multiple offer scenarios. So you still may be put in a situation where you have to make a quick decision, which is why it's so important for you to spend that time up front on your needs versus want list, so you have a full understanding if this home that you really do like and love will actually fit your needs and work for you for the next few years. We're also seeing a lot of buyers experiencing what we call sticker shock when they start searching for homes, especially because home prices have skyrocketed over the past few years. So they expect that they can get all these great things in this perfect house for $750,000. When they start looking, they start to realize that that's not the case. And so if that's the case, you want to make sure you take a second, sit down and readjust your expectations to better fit within your budget. The last place you want to be is buying a property outside of your budget and putting yourself in a very difficult financial position that you and your family will have to kind of work around and sacrifice to keep up with. That's what we call being house poor. Now, let's say you're looking for a home maybe a little bit farther outside of the Charlotte area, or maybe in an area that doesn't have the best schools, or maybe it's not the most beautiful home. Maybe it needs some new carpet, needs a little bit of a paint. For those properties, you may not experience a multiple offer position. They may be sitting on the market for a little bit longer, which means you have a little bit more time to think about it and decide if it's right for your family. Now, I often tell my clients, if you find that perfect home that checks all the boxes and you want to sleep on it, you may not be sleeping in it, which is definitely true because we never know when the next offer is coming in. But if it's sitting on the market for a little bit, you may have a little bit of extra time or even time for a second showing. And at the end of the day, I would rather you miss out on a home than be sleeping in a home that you're unhappy with for the next 5 to 10 years. So guys, really at the end of the day, make sure you know what you're looking for and be okay with saying no. Before we get to the number 1 and number 2 biggest regrets, I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you ever purchased a home that you ended up regretting something about the home? Comment below with what you actually ended up regretting and what you did about it. So let's jump back in with regret number 2. I underestimated how much maintenance a home requires. Now, especially if you've never purchased a home before, a lot of people can underestimate the actual required maintenance and upkeep you need in your home. And there's a lot of different things on a home that could need your attention. I mean, take for instance, lawn care or some other cosmetic items like painting or flooring. And what happens if something happens to your plumbing, your HVAC, or electrical? If you need a new roof, if you need a new HVAC unit, you can't call the landlord anymore. The bill falls to the homeowner. And guys, I did a little bit of research and was able to find out that a lot of experts really have a consensus that a baseline budget that you want to keep for home maintenance is about 1% of the price of the home. So if you're buying a $500,000 house, you really want to budget about $5,000 per year in different maintenance and upkeep items. And of course, this will definitely depend on a lot of different factors like how old the home is, the age of the HVAC, the age of the roof, the age of the water heater, different things like that. So if you buy an older home, you may need to budget a little bit more, where if you buy a brand new or a newer home, you may have less maintenance requirements per year. But again, $5,000 a year is really nothing to sneeze at. That is almost $500 a month that you want to make sure you keep in your budget in the back of your mind, just in your savings for anything to go wrong for that rainy day where you need to do some maintenance to the home. And keep in mind, I mean, even if a garbage disposal goes out or a light fixture isn't working, are you able to fix those yourself, or are you gonna have to call someone to actually come and fix it for you? That can really be a variable in how much you should budget or not. And one thing I always recommend to my clients while we're under contract with the home is let's get a home inspection and do a lot of research up front so you know as much about the home. How old is that HVAC unit? How old's the water heater? How old's the roof? Is anything wrong with the house? So we can get a lot of those questions answered so you're not surprised after the home closes. Now you have to fix the foundation, you have to replace the roof, different things like that that can really add up. So guys, it's time to review the #1 regret home buyers had when purchasing their home, and it's really no surprise when you think the home buyers between 2020 and 2022 said that their biggest regret was they felt they overpaid for their home. Even though rates were really low and they locked in a super low interest rate, especially compared to home buyers looking today, they felt they overpaid because there was a lot of euphoria in the market. You know, that's frankly just a little bit sad, right? They felt like they were rushed and they had to really pay way too much for a home to really lock in that low interest rate. And I could definitely appreciate where they're coming from, because if you look at the second half of 2022, once those rates started rising, we started to see the prices of homes start to fall and fall pretty dramatically. But the good thing is the start of this year, home prices started to increase again. And right now here in the Charlotte area, we're actually seeing a 2% year-over-year increase in the average sales price of the home. And rates are still pretty high, which tells us buyers are starting to get used to those higher rates. And Warren Buffett always says, time in the market always beats timing the market. So how do you prevent yourself from overpaying for a home? Well, first thing first, you definitely want to make sure you partner yourself with a real estate agent who really knows the market. Does your realtor do videos like this? Do they continuously educate you on the market and educate the overall public on the real estate market? Do they study the overall market and pay attention to the larger economic trends that will eventually affect the housing market? You definitely want to make sure you're aligned with somebody that really has their pulse on the local market, so you're not overpaying for a home, because no one wants to overpay for a home. And no one knows if the market's going to go up or down, but again, we have to listen to Warren Buffett, right? Time in the market always beats timing the market. If we look at the grand scale of housing in the United States, it always goes up eventually. There's upswings and downswings, but it always continuously goes up in the long run. And so if you're asking, hey Josh, should I buy now or should I wait a little bit? Well, you're in luck, because we actually shot a whole video answering that very question, and I'll put a link to it right here. But really the gist of it, prices and rates are high right now, which means affordability is at all-time lows. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure you don't stretch yourself and put yourself in a bad position where you're forced to live in the home you just bought, but you're eating ramen noodles with the family. Nobody wants that, right? And I personally find it really disturbing that over 70% of home buyers who've recently purchased a home have at least one regret on the home that they purchased, because myself and my team strive to really do the work up front and find that perfect house that you're going to be happy in for the years to come. My goal is to make sure that my clients have no regrets when purchasing a home, and we're dedicated to doing that. So if you are curious about purchasing a home, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to sit down and chat about the overall process with you. And if you are one of that big group of 70% of recent home buyers that have one or more regrets on your home purchase, then feel free to reach out to us as well. I'd love to sit down with you and see what we can do to really help you transition into a home that better fits you and your family's needs, and make the process as easy as possible as well. Guys, thanks for watching. If you got value from the video, make sure you click that like button. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our videos coming up here in the future, click that subscribe button and turn notifications on. And I'll see you guys on the next video.